Hello everybody and welcome to a new lag poker video, and today we are back with some NL25 normal session. So in this session now we have pocket kings and we just isolated a recreational player. We are obviously going to c-bet. I'm gonna c-bet big, given he is of course a weak player and he may have a lot of call, fold and those kind of lines. So I want to maximize my value instantly here on this wet board. We fold this, we fold 10-5 off obviously as well. Let's see if we get some action. Gonna bring you guys some action at various stakes. Today we start back with NL25. I will show you some NL50, some NL10 even. I think some people asked for it in the past. I don't remember if I actually had in this channel some NL10. Maybe I did. We'll also have some higher stakes, NL100, maybe even more. So, I mean, I will keep bringing you, I will try to bring you sessions from various stakes so you can have and see different approaches. Here is 6-7 off. Of course, it's not a great hand, but the small blind limped. He's a recreational player, and I like to raise very wild in this situation to be also aggressive post-flop, because when they limp call, they usually are a bit more passive post-flop and they give up a lot. So here I'm going to take a c-bet with my hand. I'm gonna also 3-bet king queen off. I think I may bluff this guy on 3 streets. He's gonna have some call folds, as we mentioned before, so I will try to get that. If he shoves, of course it sucks, but if he doesn't, we just try to take a stab and bluff. Many draws are busted here, but also, I mean, we win versus a busted draw, but he also can have a 10, a queen, and when a recreational player is short, he sometimes makes some very, very weird folds. Here on table 4 with 3-bet, he called. This flop is terrible for us in terms of how it plays, so I wanted to check and I checked because of the 10 bank, but yeah, checking was the plan anyway. Here I limped on the small blind, given that there was already the short guy who limped, and I'm gonna check fold usually in 3-way pot here. He checks back, and the turn is not great news for us. I think I'm just gonna check anyway. No info on this guy. I don't know how much he is folding. He shouldn't, in theory, have many 8x in his range, but who knows. So just gonna check. Play it very straightforward. I think I'm just check folding also because, yeah, of course we have a second nut flush draw, but when we hit it, the board is so scary that I don't think we're gonna get paid. Anyway, 4-5 suited on table 1. I just call on the big blind. We may sometimes turn this hand into bluff. It's gonna depend on also how much he bets. If he bets, he checks back pretty quickly, to be honest, and I don't think he has much more than an ace at this point. The problem is that being a recreational player, if he has an ace, he's probably not gonna be willing to fold it, even if I play some very aggressive actions. So I'm just gonna fold here. It's a bit of, I mean, we don't have much out of position, and I don't think he's folding an ace anyway that much, so I think it's fine. Nice flop here. This hand is pretty fine to check back. We have showdown value, we have equity to improve. We don't need much protection, so just checking back I think is fine. We're gonna call obviously on the turn if he bets, but he checks, and still on the turn. I mean, I think this hand is a bit too thin to try to get some value, and we don't need to push him out of the pot really, so just check. And now we'll try to get to showdown, hoping with the best hand. We split, that's fine. 5-4 off, we fold, and pocket deuces. Pocket deuces cut off standard open on most tables, obviously. Pocket deuces, nothing, okay. Jack 10 suited, with open. I don't know if you are hearing right now my dog howling. An ambulance is passing by. Okay, we just try to win this limpet pot with no equity whatsoever. We are in a 4 pot with 10 jack suited. It sucks. So we just check and hope to hit our gut shot or one of our overcards. 6-7 suited, we just fold. Pocket 7s. I don't mind even squeezing, given that we have 2 recreationals, but especially this guy is short, and if you get it in with him, it's gonna be fine anyway. Folding 10 jack suited, obviously. Calling also was an option with 7s. And here aces, just make it we fold when this guy forwards. We can just make it 3x here, given that both blinds are recreational players, and I am going to bet bigger on the flop, given we have value versus a weak player. We don't care about balancing our sizes when our opponent is a recreational. If he wants to call, he's gonna call almost any size, so just go big for value. No need of balancing that. Queen jack off, we just fold. 9-4 suited. Typically a fold. Big blind is a recreational. Depending on the kind of recreational, we may sometimes open, but we have no info on this guy, so we just fold. 10-8 off. Let's see if we can check. Okay. Just gonna check this board. Check call usually, unless he bets huge. He does bet huge, but yeah, I mean, it's not a nice spot. I think I'm gonna fold too much star and river, so I'm just gonna fold here. Check deuce, we fold, 4-5 off. We have to fold as well. And let's see what else we can play. Tables are pretty soft this morning. It's a Saturday, the moment I'm recording. Saturday morning is usually a very good time to play in general, not only at NL25. With pocket queens, we get 2 calls from one for sure is a recreational, maybe even the other, given he called from the small blind. And I'm gonna take a small bet for team value here with queens. We open pocket fours. This guy raises. We block most of his draws. No info. Probably a recreational. Even if he shouldn't have many kings, of course, many sets in general here. I'm just gonna fold. I mean, we have no clue how to continue there with an unknown, and we have a terrible bluff catcher, so we just let it be. King jack. We open and go, jack 9, that's nice. I'm gonna just try to win this spot right now. Pocket kings, we open, and let's see what happens. Jack 9, of course, if he raises, who cares? If he calls, we give up, but he's gonna fold a lot in general, so why not take a shot? Pocket 9s. Pocket 9s, it is going to be a raise if the bottom folds or limps. If he raises, I think I'm gonna 3-bet. He does raise. Suspicious of this small raise, but whatever. We have the 3-bet here. Jack 5 suited. In case they all fold, we are definitely going to open. Ace jack suited, another interesting hand. Let's see what happens. We have a limp. We are going to 3-bet here versus this guy, and here I'm just going to take a c-bet with our pocket 9s. Folding this. Nice flop. Just gonna bet about half pot here, a bit more versus this recreational player. Snap folds. Unlucky. Fold. This is not an open normally, but I think the blinds are under 3-betting a lot here, so I'm gonna open much wider than I would normally open at a higher stake. And I am going to c-bet here with our double backdoor versus a recreational probably. I'm gonna bluff at this point, my 7 high. And good luck to us. No need to bet bigger than this, to be honest, because he had the ace, double 2 pair. Of course we are facing a top range there, and that's fine. We don't expect him to fold that. King queen suited, we do open. As we will with ace 10 off. Not gonna call a 3-bet anyway. 7-9 suited, we will open. We can also 3-bet sometimes. And I'm not going to call a 3-bet from a short guy from the big blind. Also on the big blind, they're probably under 3-betting heavily, so no need to get fancy there. And of course we have to fold 7-9 suited. Pocket 9s again. Open or 3-bet? We will open this time. Let's see if we can play with the big blind. We're giving him a good price to call. He 3-bets. We are gonna call this bet. It was a very small 3-bet anyway. He checks. I feel like I have to bet for team value protection. Anyway, if he has something aces, kings, jacks, stuff like this, I think he's gonna check raise a lot now, so we're not gonna waste much money versus that range. Okay. King, queen off. We open. Ace 7. Definitely a fold. Ace, king. We do open. Nice flop with king, queen. Check raise or bet big. My favorite options. I'm gonna bet check raise this time. And I'm going to bet big with this. Time to start betting king, queen, unluckily. And at table 1 with a recreational, I'm gonna bet big again. He folds. Okay. Pretty straightforward. With the king queen, you know, of course we like to bet usually versus a recreational when you have a value hand, but this hand was so good that we don't want to get value, we want to get maximum value, and I feel like we're gonna get maximum value just by check raising. So I tried that. Also because on a board like that, ace jack 10, if this guy has something, if this recreational has something, it's going to be sticky with it. So I think we can get a lot of value by taking that line. We open the kings and we fold to reduce, obviously. No info on this guy, we're just gonna fold pocket 8 UTG, that's fine. We should, I think, calling too many 3-bets out of position, especially from the early position, is one of the most common leaks at these micro stakes. So let's try to avoid it when we can. King deuce, 10-9 off. Okay, would have played it with versus button or small blind, but no action there. Ace 4 off, gonna open if everybody folds. 6-4 off, too weak. 4-5 off, too weak. We have a limp. I mean, to be honest, ace 4 sucks. Let's not go around it. So I'm just gonna fold. I mean, it's even too ugly to just cover the blind here. I would cover the blind with a lot of terrible hands, but ace 4 is simply so bad that I don't like to cover the blind. I don't like to raise. It's just a fold. King 8 off. We let it be. Let's see this ace 10 suited. Ace 10 suited, which we are gonna defend very frequently, but unlikely they give us the blind. 6-8 off. I would open only if I know the blinds are both serious nits. No info in this sense, so just gonna fold. 8 deuce off. Nothing to do as well. For jack 9 off, I mean, in this spot I would isolate very widely, but I think jack 9 off from the cutoff is still too much. Maybe from the button I would start. I mean, I'm a big fan of isolating very widely versus limps in position, but can't do much there. Pocket 7s here is just a fold. Do not call 3-bets with pocket pairs. It's just a fishy move. Unluckily, we got to make these folds. And hope not to see a 7 on the flop. King 10 off. Let's see. I mean, if somebody opens, probably I'm gonna fold. We may maybe 3-bet the button if he opens. We'll obviously raise ourselves if I already fold, but versus MP, no info, just gonna fold. Ace queen suited, nice hand, we just open, but unluckily. Today they are folding a lot pre-flop apparently. We'll try again with pocket deuces. Got a call from the small blind, squeezing, unluckily, and we're gonna call. It's a pretty bad hand to call a squeeze with, even with a recreational on our left. Queen 8 off, just a fold. 7-3 off, just a fold. Jack 9 off as well. Nothing much to do there. Ace 3 off, sucks. Not as much as 9-3 off, which sucks even more. 9-4, we go. Oh my god, many trash hands. Luckily they're giving us the blinds, so still fine. Ace-10 suited again from the small blind, so we're going to play this, and we are going to 3-bet the cutoff open. Of course, it's UTG, but it's also cutoff, since at this time we are 4-handed at the table. No info whatsoever. I'm not gonna call a 4-bet there, so I would have just folded if he 4-betted, and now with King 8 off, can open if the cutoff folds. But it doesn't, and Ace 4 off here is a fold. 4-6 suited is a fold versus an UTG raise. Oh, it will be an interesting flop to play. Queen Jack off. Borderline from the middle position. Opening is fine if you expect the table not to 3-bet that much, not to 3-bet GTO, and I don't expect the table to 3-bet GTO at an L25 normally, especially on a Saturday morning. So here, now we open Ace Jack off. J8 off. I mean, it's a hand which sucks, but big blind is a weak player, so we may open. Not 3-betting a lot so far also, so it's probably borderline. I mean, folding this is totally fine. Check call on this flop, I think, is our best option with our mid value. We are going to 3-bet obviously Ace King to the UTG open. No info on this guy, I'm just gonna shove to his 4-bet if he does that. It's a hand we can also call a 4-bet with, especially versus regulars when you have some kind of history. That's a nice turn. I don't think he's gonna bet if he didn't bet on the flop, so I'm definitely gonna bet. Sizing wise, I think we should bet big. And 10 is suited, just gonna call here. Nice flop. Don't betting is an option, just I don't know how much I want to build a pot here. Gonna check, and on the river here, I'm just gonna place another big bet, hoping he bluff catches with a 10 or any other bluff catcher he might have. Start value betting with 10-8, obviously, and I am going to check call or check raise with king-queen. I don't mind check raising as well. Once he checks back, even if the heart, of course, is not a very nice turn, I'm going to start getting some value versus a recreational player. I'm gonna bet big. And on the river, sometimes also checking if he calls, because I think he's gonna call me here with a lot of one heart kind of hand. Ace-10, we do a raise versus the limper, not the best flop, and as I mentioned here, I don't mind sometimes to check and call, because I think a recreational is going to have a lot of offsuit hands with maybe one heart that he may want to bluff on the river, so let him do that. Of course, I'm gonna call here one blind with Ace-10, checking and folding if he bets again, I would say, unless he bets again super small. I would say 2 blinds still we can call with 2 overcards on a 14 blind spot. Of course, it's not super profitable. I mean, we're just playing fit or fold basically, and gonna fold this river. Bluffing an option, maybe. I mean, I would say it's not very easy to represent something after you play that way, so we just let it be. Pocket nines, we are going to isolate in position on table 1. 6 deuce off, we fold. Okay, nice fluff to play versus a recreational player short stack. I'm going to bet big, I'm going to bet huge actually, and to be honest, I'm not gonna fold on this connected flop with a hand like this versus a short recreational. Of course, if he has a set or a 2 pair, we are going to pay him off, but you know, he may have many other stuff. So good luck to us, and let's hope we are on the right side of the cooler. He has a 2 pair, let's hope to... the 9 is gonna be nice. The 6 run out. But I still don't mind this play. I mean, we are versus a short recreational. He's gonna overplay a lot of stuff. He may fast play this way some draws and combo draws. So even if you're not in love, here I would make it bigger given the limper. So yeah, I mean, even if you're not that happy to get it in that situation, I think we should at that point. Heads up versus a recreational player, we are going to take a c-bet. Here we got a call from this guy. I'm going to take a small bet here versus a recreational player. I'm gonna fold if he raises. If he calls, we have a couple of options. I don't mind betting small 3 times versus a weak player, because he may have some mid pair, 9s, 8s, maybe suited connectors like 7x, who will call to 3 small bets. And I'm just gonna check on the 8, to be honest, because I don't think he has a bluffing range. Honestly, not much, of course. And if he has the kind of mid value you just mentioned, it's just gonna check back. So on a card like this, which makes me impossible to get any more value even with a small bet, I prefer to check and hope to see a check back. If he bets again, he has some bluffs, maybe some ace king, which call twice, stuff like this, but not much. So it's fine if he bluffs me. But yeah, I guess he had this kind of mid value, maybe pocket nines. Let's see. Oh, ace king, and he didn't bluff it. Oh, if we know that he's not bluffing ace king in a spot like this, it's even better to check there and to play the hand that way. Let's try to win the hand with 3 high here in this limpet pot. Nice, we do. And of course we try to play heads up with a recreational player. 3-4 suited, not the best hand, but still versus a bad player we play it, and he checks back. I don't think he has a jack often enough when he checks back, so we just try to bluff him, and we're gonna call him position with pocket fours. Not the best flop ever. I think I'm gonna fold. I mean, it's close if you bet small. And on this river, I am trying to bluff for high, not betting huge. I just hope he folds some busted row stuff at this. I don't think he's folding anyway a mid pair on a board like that, so just trying to make him fold whatever he is willing to fold. Gonna check back. I mean, if a player doesn't see bet this board, there is probably a reason. So I don't think it's check folding. Just gonna check back and hope to hit my 4. He may have queens, jacks, stuff like this, but I don't know if he's folding given he's a recreational player, so they tend to be in love with those hands and they fold them less. That's a tricky spot. I mean, the price is awesome, but I don't want to get in a 3-way 4-bet pot with ace-3 suited. It's going to be a nightmare. And here I think I'm going to lose almost every single time versus 10s, jacks, queens, stuff like this. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, but I don't feel like bluffing, hoping you really have that at that point. Because also, I mean, as I said, they tend to be emotional with hands like that, and he may call just because he likes queens. I open pretty much any 2 cards with the recreational in heads up, so let's do it. Gonna take a step, 3-bet pocket nines, obviously. That's an interesting turn. I think I made triple barrel here sometimes. He's gonna have some 8x, 10x, and we still have 7i, so it's a decent spot to triple barrel, I would say. Okay, no need for the triple barrel. Nice flop for pocket nines and a 3-way 3-bet pot. I'm definitely gonna see bet about half pot. I think it's gonna be fine. Doesn't change much. I mean, whatever they are calling me for a 1/3 pot bet, they're also gonna call me with a half pot bet. So just gonna bet that. Versus recreationals, we reason like that. I mean, we don't reason about how much do I want to bet and stuff like this in my range versus range situation. We just reason in what we think they have and how we think they will react. Nice turn here. Of course, we're gonna call the pocket nines, and we are winning that one. Not much to do here, and I'm just going to place a big bet here for team value. Check back on this board. This one is interesting. Many bluffs. We have a gut shot, we have ace-high. We hit our gut shot. That's sweet. If you bet small, like half pot or so, I'm gonna raise all day long. He does, so we're gonna raise this one. To fold if you shove. I mean, I don't think this kind of players bluff enough in this situation, so it's always to fold there. We're never gonna bet call that kind of hand. King 4 suited, we fold. Queen 10 off, we open. Sorry, if the previous hands I missed a bit, but I was playing 4 hands together, so sorry if I missed some thinking process in the previous 5 to 10 minutes. But I was in too many hands altogether. Just gonna check back here versus a recreational player. Maybe left turn if he checks again. Nice flop. Gonna bet one blind here. Calls. Gonna check. And bluff here. Gonna check call here and check raise river maybe if you bet small. Yeah, something like this. Try to get value from his jacks. Probably we did. He had. We'll see soon. Now we see bet this open-ended. He had pocket fives even. Ace 7, we definitely call, and we have a gut shot. We have ace high. Check call on the flop is pretty straightforward here. If he pots, we may fold. Okay, we hit our straight. I'm gonna bet because I think he's gonna be more passive than he should. So just gonna bet to get value from his jack X. Other stuff. I don't know how frequently he has queen jack. I think most players like this will bet on the flop queen jack. So I'm gonna bet call and that's it. And check call this river obviously. I mean, if he shoves, I'm not calling, of course. Split pot, okay. We raise with jack 9, trying to isolate ourselves with the limper. C-bet 6-8, obviously. The limper is making this move, which is an obvious monster hand. We just fold. 8 high, still gonna bet versus this guy. He's gonna have a lot of 10x, stuff like this, and I think betting 3 times is gonna give us enough fold equity, even if it's a bit of an exaggerated bluff with no blockers, but I like to be on the aggressive side. Here, jack deuce, we try to win this hand on the turn. We do. Still prefer to bluff this one. He has some 10x, some queen x, he may fold. I don't think if I check I'm ever ahead, just if he has a 3 or some random stuff. He calls, he had the ace, that's fine. Check. Try to win with 7 high this board. We do win. King 5. Folding to the 3-bet, obviously. Nice flop for king 10. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna bet this flop, trying to win. Again with 9 high this time. Bet for value, this one. Now we have an open-ended. We are going to bet again. Checking is an option as well. Queen 9 suited. Decent hand in heads up, and I'm also gonna raise this one. Queen 5 versus a bet player. We are definitely gonna bet for value and protection. As we mentioned here, we are almost opening any 2 cards. Heads up versus a recreational player in position. Nice flop to c-bet. I'm not gonna use optimal sizes versus a recreational here. Here would be an overbet or check kind of board. Nice flop. Gonna check this time. See how unbalanced we are in limpet pots, but we don't care. I mean, balancing is something we care about when you are versus a regular, never when you are versus a recreational player. Gonna team value bet now. King Queen. Gonna raise with this guy who was doing this line with medium value hands so far. He raises. He had value before when he did this line. Trying to think what he may have checked back with. Strong, not much, but this river sucks because many of his bluffs on the turn had a 7 in it. So I think I'm just gonna check fold this river. Okay, 4-6 off. We do open. King 10. We do open and we isolate or try to isolate with this one. We're gonna c-bet with King 10, obviously. I'm also gonna take a stab here. I'm over bluffing a bit with these guys, as you probably already seen. And I am going to bet again, and I'm going to shove here, hoping he doesn't have the queen. He doesn't. Okay. Gonna bet again here, the King 10. Gonna check back a lot on the river. It's gonna be close, to be honest. I mean, if he raises some folding, I don't think again he's bluffing enough. Just gonna fold. Okay. Ace queen. Definitely going to 3-bet this one, or squeeze in this case. Gonna fold to the 4x. 4x is non-standard, and then gonna overfold a bit. Queen 7. Queen 7 is definitely a hand we want to open, especially with this blind. One guy calls. Definitely see betting on a board this dry. Gonna continue here. Nice river. I think I may here place a thin value, but it is close. Maybe on the club version of the screen. It's probably not gonna be super profitable, so I'm just gonna check. But yeah, it was close. Thin value betting or not there. I mean, it was close to thin value betting or not because he just made, I just made a triple barrel to him and he folded on the river, so he may be more tempted to call me, but still, I don't mind just checking back. Anyway, it was super thin value. A7, we open. Ace 4 suited, definitely an open from the button. Jack 9 off, we fold. We are not gonna defend if he 3-bets the big blind. Pocket 5s. See if we can play. Time to time, I would check raise this one versus somebody who is especially maybe not a regular. And we're gonna give up a lot on the turn anyway. It's just a hand which it sucks so much to check call with that we may sometimes want to check raise, but we give up on a turn like this. May bluff a club on the river. Certainly not a 9. Gonna check, and we're gonna win sometimes when he has king, queen, king, jack, stuff like this. Of course, if he gets us to showdown. If he let us see a showdown. Which he might. If he has king, queen, why not? But okay, he has that. That's fine. We are going to 3-bet this. Should make it a bit bigger than that, but okay. King 7 off. Too weak to isolate versus somebody who has only 17 blinds. Queen 9 off. Fold anyway. This sucks. This we fold. Queen 10 off. Definitely gonna call here blind versus a recreational player in position. If he checks, we're gonna attack. If he bets, sometimes we may. I think they are just over c-betting and hopefully overfolding. He does this time. We are going to take a stab here with our open-ended. Given how short he is, sometimes we may also just check. Given how short he is and how bad our image is with this guy. Especially for that, we open queens. We can make it 3x, given the big blind is a recreational. We open 10 jack off on the cutoff. Okay. Ace 5. Too weak. Don't know why I thought I was on the button. And it is, there's a cutoff. Okay. 10 jack. Three-way pot, at least one recreational player. And here I'm gonna just call. I don't call a lot, but this guy being this guy short, maybe this is one of the spots when I do it, where I do it. Here we see bet. I could have made it even a bit bigger probably. Gonna bet again, and I'm going to increase my sizing here. Here I thought we were heads up. I wouldn't call if I knew we were three-way. Gonna check back this one on this river. That's sweet. And here I'm just gonna give up. I mean, calling and bluffing some rivers is fine as well. Yeah, probably I can bluff spades, stuff like this. Or I can hit a 5. That's sweet as well. Trying to represent a busted flush draw, but he had nothing. Well, I mean, looked weak. That's why I called it on turn, because I mean it looked weak, so it felt like I could bluff some rivers as well. But we hit, so that's it. Here we bet our gut shot. That's sweet. Queen jack suited. We are gonna 3-bet a lot. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens. Pocket kings. And jack 10 suited. Nothing for the jack 10. Let's see if we can 3-bet kings at least. And we do. Of course we are shoving if he 4-bets. But unluckily, just a fold. King jack suited. Okay, that's sweet. We open ace 4. We can 3-bet blind versus blind this sometimes. Calling also an option, obviously. Let me 3-bet this. I'm gonna 3-bet a bit smaller than usually, given he has a bit short stack. Fold 5-6 suited. Interesting flop. I'm gonna bet. Shoving some turns, but no need to see that. King queen and 7-8 suited. The king queen we are gonna raise if nobody else does. We open the jack 9. C-bet this flop. Not the best turn, and I'm gonna call in position with 7-8. Me sometimes bluff. Doesn't change too much. I feel like he has a lot of aces in the range that he may play that way. 7-8 suited, just a fold there. Terrible board. King Jack suited. We do open. Gonna play 5 more minutes. Nice flop for King Jack, and I am going to, well, can do many things, even check call, I don't mind, on this specific board, and c-bet here with Jack 6 suited. We hit our flush, that's sweet. We keep firing here our gut shot, and it's close on the river. I guess we can sometimes bet, but unluckily he had a flush, so nothing. We bet with the King Jack. After we got a check back, we open Queen Jack offsuit, pretty standard. Got a 3-bet, blind versus blind, it is borderline, just gonna fold. Queen 10 suited, opening. And folding to a 3-bet from this short player. We open the A7. Gonna see bet this versus this unknown guy, and calling 10-9 off. Not the best flop, unluckily. Check fold usually. Queen Jack suited. Could be a call, could be a 3-bet if nobody else makes action here. This guy is a recreational. This time I'm going to 3-bet. And we have to see bet our 6 high. Gonna continue on some turns, but fairly easy. Aces, heads up. Nice hand to have heads up. Calls, okay. Checking or betting, I like both options. The more I think my opponent is a good opponent, the more I check. I don't know for this guy. Still gonna check sometimes here, especially with the ace of clubs combo. He checks back. I mean, I think we have 2 aces, but I think his checking back range also contains many aces. Gonna still check. And I'm gonna bet small on the river. I don't see any other option here to get value, unluckily. But he has absolutely nothing. Gonna sit out next big blind anyway. And here we're gonna bet big, 14 value. Folding, of course, to the shove. Oh, we're still in one table. So, by the way, yeah, Antonot is not working properly because still didn't get any hand from this session. So, but I think it was a decent session. I think I won my stack or so. I mean, I play fairly loose and aggressive, as the name of the channel says, but I think that's the way to play these small stakes. I mean, it's really, I mean, easy to play aggressively with players who probably do not adjust, and I think it's fine. Even, I mean, it's not always working, of course, as have you seen. I mean, some big bluffs went wrong, but still, I think overall it was a good way to play. Well, let's play this last hand. Gonna see with an unknown. Checking back, totally an option, heads up as well, obviously. See what he does. If he raises, gonna be interesting. He does raise, gonna call on the flop. Reevaluate on the turn. Depending on how big he eventually bets. Okay, makes this size, which is a bit weird, but let it be. And yeah, guys, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I will be back with more videos. Now I think I have a bit more time to create some content, so stay tuned. See you.